girl Melody, and welcome back to another episode of Anime Episode Review. Now, with Dr. Stone episode 4 coming out along with episode 3 of Fire Force, I actually haven't watched them, which is the first time I didn't do it, but I've always been keeping up to date with all the episodes. So, for Fire Force episode 3 and Dr. Stone episode 4, I'll be watching them by today after I've done this episode review for Dr. Stone episode 3, and then I will be doing a video on Dr. Stone episode 4 and maybe Fire Force episode 3 on Saturday within this week. So hopefully I will get to you guys soon enough. But for right now, let's talk about Dr. Stone episode 3 right here. I mean, come on. The title of the episode is Weapons of Science. Weapons of Science, which means it's going to be really, really interesting and it's going to be a good one. So if you guys really enjoy these kinds of videos that I do, because it's still a brand new series and I'm glad I'm getting used to these series. So if you guys want to see more, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and comment down below which of the 2 favorite animes I like are your favorite. Personally, I love Fire Force. I know it's by the same creator who made Soul Eater, but Fire Force puts a lot of effort and my heart into my soul because, for one, fire is my favorite elemental and it connects with my zodiac sign, Leo. But enough, I'm getting off topic right here. Let's talk about Dr. Stone episode 3. So, as I said, episode 3 is Weapons of Science. And there was a scene in episode 3 where we get a little bit of a flashback from the second episode where Shishio Tsukasa is talking to Senku about bringing back everyone from being stoned, and then Tsukasa rejects his offer and rejects his plan to save everyone and only bring the youth instead of the adults because he didn't want to deal with all the taxes, the money, and bringing civilization back. But then within that flashback, after that, Taiju just came out of nowhere saying that he had the petrification liquid for Yuzuriha. And Senku was literally surprised, and so did Shishio, but he wasn't surprised at all, but he knew that something was up, so he had to find the miracle liquid, which was nitric acid. So he had to find it, and then the episode cuts in, obviously, burning syndrome. You put a life in my heart. And with that, we get to a scene where the 3 guys were gathered together along with Yuzuriha, and Taiju just putting on some clothes for her after she has been petrified, after she has been turned back into herself, all of the stone pieces are breaking off from her body. Senku was thinking that Taiju should get more of the petrification liquid because it was still a little bit of an amount, but then Tsukasa offered his request of finding the miracle liquid, and with that, Shishio just went out into the wilderness of Japan, and to find that miracle liquid that would give Senku and Taiju to buy some time and create the miracle liquid, even though there was a little bit of an amount for it. And Senku had to think fast before Shishio comes back, so he had to create something that is relatively similar to the petrification liquid.
Even though it was a small amount, he had to mix it up a little bit more, and that Taiju then
eventually poured the liquid onto Yuzuriha. But before we get to that, Shishio was given a little scene in the episode where he was walking through the crowds of petrified people and was walking through these mountain ranges, and with that he saw 2 little kids, one boy and one girl, having so much fun with their parents. But then all of a sudden he goes on a rampage, destroying all of the stone statues, which means he was killing all of the people there. And even if you pour the petrification liquid onto those broken pieces, the pieces will just turn back into a corpse. So, I mean, yeah, it would say it's broken into pieces. So that's a disadvantage for Senku to just make everyone go back to their normal selves and rebuild civilization. And then we get back to the cutscene of Taiju pouring the petrification liquid onto Yuzuriha. And with that, Senku just directly pushes Taiju to just pour in the petrification liquid onto Yuzuriha, surprising Taiju, but then Senku wasn't surprised at all. And with that, the stone soon starts cracking onto Yuzuriha and breaking off from her body. And Taiju was so relieved and so happy. And with that being said, he caught her. Like, this picture is so beautiful. He caught Yuzuriha in his arms, and it was like the most romantic scene that I can ever think of. It was like so good. And then Yuzuriha thanks Taiju, but instead Taiju was saying that I wasn't the one who saved you. It was Senku. He was all with the smarty smarts. And then Yuzuriha was a little making a bit fun of Taiju saying that. And then there's a little comedic scene where Senku was saying that you two should run or you two should stay and fight. And then Taiju was like, I will fight for you no matter what. And then Yuzuriha was showing the cutest expression ever. Like, this picture right here. She is so cute. And actually, I'm currently reading the manga too. So there's a new chapter out. So I have to read that until I catch up to that chapter. So it's like The Promised Neverland. I read the manga before I even watched the anime, so it's kind of like the opposite. I watched the anime before I read the manga, and it goes same with Fire Force. I watched the anime before reading the manga because I know that, I don't know, it depends. It might be around episode 12 where they're going to be ending the anime adaptation, but who knows? It's going to be a surprise. So with that being said, after Yuzuri has been petrified from her stone statue, Tsukasa returns saying that, oh, you said I'm killing people. And then he drops a bunch of pieces coming from the people that from the stoned people that he killed or say broke off. And then Taiju was like, you should have done that. I should just fight you. And with that, he wasn't the one with all the fighting strength. He was the one who's known for defense. While Tsukasa was like, okay, I'm gonna be doing the punches, you would be doing the defense, and Senku would be like the smarty one right there. So with that being said, Shishio was a little bit surprised that they didn't run away, and with that, he decided to run away. He decided to run from Taiju, Senku, and Yuzuriha, giving them some time, and secretly going to someplace else to find some gunpowder. And now that's where half of the episode leads us. So Yuzuriha, Senku, and Taiju were going to a place where it had a bunch of like volcanoes so they can create gunpowder to make some weapons of science. But actually, I forgot one detail. Before that, Taiju was blocking Tsukasa, defending Senku and Yuzuriha, when all of a sudden Senku brought out his crossbow, fires an arrow, and then Tsukasa stops it and throwing it into the ground. I was so surprised. I was like, okay, what in Irene did I just saw? Like, oh my Irene, I cannot. Tsukasa is way too strong. These three can't stop him until they can think of the weapons of science, which is the guns. So yeah, and with that being said, there was one scene where Yuzuriha was worried and emotional. So the three of them had to run someplace else, and knowing the direction that they came. And with that being said, they saw the statue of Buddha, and it was the god. Okay, it was the statue god, and Yuzuriha reminded of those memories when she was still a little kid, and saying that, I really want civilization to come back, and I knew that the statue of Buddha was still standing, and all of a sudden, I didn't know what to expect, but Senku soon started collecting some of the, the parts of the statue and bringing it back so that he can use it for science. I can't remember what it was. So with that being said, they both trekked their way to the volcanoes and spotted hot springs. But then all of a sudden, Tsukasa was there in their hideout, saying that where did they lead? They found their footsteps, saying that where did they lead off? Where did they go? And with that, Senku told Taiju and Yuzuri about his plan, saying that they should make guns because it's within the modern civilization. And then Shishio Tsukasa finds out. And with that being said, the episode ends with the title card of the next episode. And I'm so excited for that next episode. Just right here, the title of the episode. Episode 4. I'll have to watch it today. So thank you all so much for watching this Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Anime Episode Reviews. If you want to see more, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to leave your comments down below what kind of video should I make next. And don't forget to subscribe to become part of the Ranger Squad. So as for now, I'm headed out to my mission. Signing off!
I'm hoping what I said could make you change your mind.